Okay, so welcome to my channel. You saw the title, we're doing a TBR situation for June. I generally don't do TBRs because I am a mood reader, and so doing a TBR is quite frankly just not something that really works for me. But we're doing a TBR this time because I'm moving in June, and so I have a very limited range of books that I can read. There's some books I there's some books I got out of the library that I definitely need to read before the end of June because I will no longer be in the same city as the library that I've been using. So we actually have a TBR for once. Also, I feel like I look super glamorous right now. Um, or at least super dressed up, which I don't normally do. You've seen my other video. If you've seen my other videos, you know I'm like normally just like in a t-shirt, not really a lot of makeup, anything like that. But I might have to start doing my makeup a little bit more because I only did it this time because I'm seeing Beetlejuice at the Kimmel Center in like later tonight, and so this is like kind of my outfit. I'm gonna be wearing a jacket over this, but yeah. So let's get into the TV. Okay, so the first book I'm going to be reading in June is The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. I've already started it. I didn't like his first book that I read by him. I read Horror Store, which is the one that like kind of looks like and is like supposed to mimic like a IKEA catalog, I think. But yeah, I didn't really enjoy that one, but I thought it was just gonna be the format, but I'm already a quarter way through this, and I'm thinking it's just because it's supposed to be horror, but it's not scary. And like people are dying and it's not scary. Do you know how hard it is to have people die in your book and it not be scary? Like I don't know. I can't. I'm not jiving with his writing. I don't think it's it's not doing it for me in terms of horror. It's just not working for me. But I'm reading that. We'll see if it gets better. Maybe I will like it better. If you can hear the sirens in the background, I'm so sorry. I live in the city. Um, but um, but yeah, so hopefully it gets better. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna be finishing that in June. Another book that I'm finishing in June. I'm finishing a lot of books. Instead of actually like starting books and more so just finishing books, or at least these first two I am finishing. There's a couple that and then there's three that I'm going to hopefully, fingers crossed, start. But another book that I am reading is Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. This book, what do I have to say about this book? It's AI. Like the main character is I was gonna say an artificial intelligence, but I don't think that's English. But the main character is AI, and she gets bought by this family, and there are some things going on that are not quite right. There's like things she doesn't know because she only really gets the little girl's side of things. But as time goes on, some things start to be revealed. And I'm almost finished with it. Like, the bottom part is what I've read. Um, so yeah, I'm almost finished with it. I've been slowly reading it because I've been buddy reading it with my friend who lives in London, but we had to take a break in April because of Ramadan, because it's just too much with Ramadan for her to like also keep up with with how much we were reading. And then plus we realized that the page counts were different, so then we kind of like got into a slump with that, and we haven't really been reading since April. But we're gonna finish it this month, because if we don't finish it this month, then I simply will not be finishing it, period, because I am not getting a book. I'm not purchasing a book to read 20 pages. It's just not happening. So hopefully, so I should definitely be finishing this um, in June. Now onto some books that I'm excited. I actually don't. The books that I haven't actually started yet, I don't even have with me except for one. But I'm gonna do the one that I do have with me. Symptoms of Being Human by Jeff Garvin. So here's the thing. So I pulled this off my shelf because I needed another. I need to, like, I have to read off my shelf now because I can't go to the library again. These are the books that I just showed you are all the books that I have checked out of the library, and I'm not getting more out because I only have 24 more days until I'm leaving. So I don't see the point in going to the library and finding a new book. So I'm like, okay, we'll just read what we have on our shelves. So we do have a couple books on our shelves. And then also when I was looking at my shelf, I was making sure that it was something that was, I was hoping for something that was LGBTQ because it is Pride Month in June. Okay, so Symptoms of Being Human by Jeff Garvin is, I'm just going to read the summary on the back. I feel like that's going to be easiest. I've tried to film this a couple different times, giving my own summary, and for some reason I can't get it right. So bear with me. Riley Kavanaugh is many things: punk rock, snarky, rebellious, and gender fluid. Some days Riley identifies as a boy and others as a girl, but Riley isn't exactly out yet, and between starting a new school and having a congressman father running for re-election, the pressure, media and otherwise, is building up in Riley's so-called normal life. On the advice of a therapist, Riley starts an anonymous blog to vent those pent-up feelings and tell the truth of what it's really like to be a gender-fluid teenager. But just as Riley's starting to settle in at school, even developing feelings for a mysterious outcast, the blog goes viral and an unnamed character threatens to expose Riley's real identity, and Riley must make a choice. Walk away from what the blog has created, a lifeline, new friends, a cause to believe in, or stand up, come out, and risk everything. And then this is Jeff Garvin's debut novel. I don't know anything about Jeff Garvin and whether or not this is a Own Voices story. It's just something that I have on my shelf. So I'm sorry if it's not the perfect thing to be reading during Pride Month, or the perfect gender fluid story to be starting with. I will definitely look into this author later just to see what their identity is and see what's up with that, and then I will probably, if I'm still going to read this book, but I will definitely be on the lookout for more books about gender fluid people if Jeff is not in fact gender fluid. I feel like this definitely feels like something that should be Own Voices, so if it's not, that might be a bit of a yikes. But yeah, for sure. And I love this because this is definitely an early 2010s type of book in terms of like style of like, oh yeah, like their therapist recommended them to start an anonymous blog. Babe, it's the internet. Babe, it's the internet. You don't want to do that. If someone wants to find your identity, they can, and they will. So, yikes. Editing Stephanie here. Yeah. The thing that makes this 2010s is just the therapist telling the main character to start a blog. Nothing else. Not the cover with the emo hairdo, or the start of the summary starting out describing Riley as punk, snarky, rebellious. Nothing about that makes it quintessential 2010s literature. Nothing about that at all. Carry on. But yeah, so that's fun. And then the next book I'm going to try to read this month, I don't know if it's going to come in from the library. I put it on hold at the beginning of May, and it's still not in yet because it's a new release for 2023, and my library said, oh yeah, it's in transit, we're getting it, it's going to be in the library soon. So I put a hold on it. I'm first in line, and I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm really, really hoping so, because otherwise I'm going to have to pay $10.99, which I'm okay with because I really love this book, and I love this author, and I love what they're doing with this character. So I'm totally okay paying that $10.99, but if I can get it for free, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's Harley Quinn Ravenous. I read Harley Quinn Reckoning back in April, and I loved it. It was such a cute little story, and then, like, it was so cute, and it was so much fun, and I just had such a great time reading it, and the sequel comes out, and I'm so excited for it because at the end of the last book, the first book, we get a glimpse at who her love interest is going to be in the second book, and it was the love interest that while reading the book, I'd been thinking to myself, you know, what would make this, like, this is great, but you know what would just make this just a little bit better if the love interest was this character. I'm not going to say who the character is because I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, as soon as I caught the description of this person, I knew, and I was like, yes. When is the next book coming out? When? But it's not coming out until it's out. I could totally purchase it $10.99 for ebook copy now, but I'm not going to because I don't want to read on my phone. So I'm not going to do that. And plus, maybe it'll come in from the library. But if it doesn't, then I'm going to have to. But then I'm definitely not reading it in June. So that's only if the library cooperates. The other book that I am going to be reading this month, this is another maybe because it comes out, I pre-ordered it. I don't pre-order anything, I pre-ordered this. There's only one other book I pre-ordered, and it was Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I don't even know why I pre-ordered that one. There is absolutely no reason I pre-ordered that one, but this one there is a reason, because it's Pageboy by Elliot Page, and I loved him in Umbrella Academy, and I'm literally so excited to read his memoir. just because I love him as an actor so much, and I'm just excited to see what his life is like behind the scenes, and all that. So really excited for that. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to read it though, because although I pre-ordered it, it's supposed to come in June 6th, but I sent it to an address 2 hours away because I was like, well, if there's any shipping delays for whatever reason, I don't want it to get sent to my current address, and then for whatever reason it arrived here and I'm no longer living here, because that seemed like kind of like a problem. So I was like, let's be safe. Put it to my grandparents' address. So I'm probably not going to end up reading this month unless it's like really late into the month, because I'm not driving 2 hours for a book. I won't drive 2 hours for anything. The only reason I'm going to drive for 2 hours later is to move 2 hours away. A book isn't worth it. But if, so I'm gonna maybe try to sneak it in at the very end of the month once I move out 2 hours away from where I am. But yeah, I'm really, really excited for the memoir. So yeah, that's kind of everything then. That's all I'm reading this month. And some of them are giant maybes. And if I run out of books, which might happen, considering I started two of the like for sure ones, so I'm probably gonna end up having to look for another book maybe to pick up, or probably not, because I'm going to be busy. Hold on. Sorry, I got a text because I was trying to find someone to go to Beetlejuice with me because the person I was supposed to take backed out, so I had an extra ticket. The person said no, they were busy. But they were very, very sad they couldn't go. So, yay. Anyway, yeah, so that's my TBR for June. It's a very small one. I tend to only read like max 4 books per month, so it sounds like a pretty good TBR for me. Maybe I'll have to pick up another book because I know I'm almost finished with one of the books on my definitive TBR. So, but we'll see how it goes. What are you guys reading this month? Leave them down in the comments below. Definitely hit the subscribe, turn on the bell icon. I've got some fun videos planned for June with Pride Month, some Pride themed videos coming up. So yeah, definitely have that to look forward to. See you guys next week.